live trading session. So these are all recorded, guys. So I'm going to upload on YouTube afterwards. It's 8 a.m. October 27th. We're about to roll through all the pairs that we're looking at for today, potential setups. And if you guys have any questions throughout the session, just post in the chat. Post in the chat. We'll get to it towards the end of it. And I see a few people. Manuel Lee Casawella, good morning. Good morning. So let's get right into it. Nick, you want to get started?
I can start off or you can start off. It's up to you.
You can get started.
All right, fair enough.
Cool.
Yo, so UJ ended up executing at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I saw that. It actually looks nice.
What a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Look at this candle.
Yeah, I saw the pullback. Nice entry.
Bitch. Couldn't have waited like another 4 hours. But anyway, so we'll get to this in a minute, guys. This is UJ, a trade that we were scoping out all last night. It was actually put out in premium analysis for you guys. For those of you that have access. But anyway, guys, we're gonna start this off how we usually do, analyzing DXY, which is the dollar index. Shows you the dollar strength here, right? And we just want to analyze this because it influences a lot of the market. So it makes sense for our analysis and what we're using it for. As this moves, you'll see a lot of major pairs move, and that's mostly what we trade. So it's always a good idea to kind of see what's going on here on DXY before we get into anything else. All right, so I like to start on the daily time frame, and I'm just looking for trends here. So I'm not doing any extra analysis on the daily time frame other than just analyzing trends. I can see that this is clearly bearish. That's my overall sentiment, is bearish, because we had a break of structure here. This is our daily zone, break of this higher low, lots of bearish momentum. So first on this time frame, very, very bearish. So we can drop down, take a look at this bit of consolidation here closer to this monthly zone. Let's drop down. So this is the time frame that's gonna we really want to pay attention to, because it's gonna be kind of projecting the next couple days. So this time frame can actually give you an edge if you can catch a move or a continuation to a certain target. So right here, guys, we know we're very bearish, right? We recently had this daily break, right? It's coming back to retest it. We have a double top, and now we're moving through MAs. We're getting some lower highs in a lower time frame, and some bearish setups in the form of engulfings, evening stars, etc. So this looks like a continuation to the downside. Everything here kind of lines up for that, and then you can continue to look for confirmations as you drop down timeframes. Our first trade here is going to definitely be a short opportunity. Literally just looking to make a play down towards to this lower supporting trend line for this channel, and then 0%. So about 45 pips, and then we're gonna try and swing this. See if this breaks lower, or if this bounces, how it reacts to this trend line is really key. So, I mean, I only have one trade scenario labeled here, but we're only looking at bearish setups. I just want to keep that clear. What needs to happen for us to change our bias, for us to look at long opportunities again, or to look at a long dollar, rather, a bullish dollar? Need to see a break back into this pattern, at least a higher low above 93 flat, which is acting as key resistance currently. So I'll make this orange because it's a secondary trade scenario. A lot has to break for this to be in play here. But for right now, definitely bearish. Definitely bearish on the dollar, guys. All right, so that's DXY. Let's move on to our first pair. Let me just get some coffee first. All right, guys, so daily time frame, here we are on AU. Same thing, just looking for trends, not really doing anything extra on the daily time frame, kind of just getting that broader view of things, right? So we can see that we are actually very, very bullish. Very bullish all the way since back here, but we had a major transition at this weekly. These are weekly lower highs. We broke them, formed this nice ascending channel, pulled back through the MAs, tested that broken weekly zone, and then started pushing higher once again. So let's drop down to the 4-hour. Get a closer look at this price action. As the 4 hours, where we're going to be getting pretty close to looking at some trade setups. And again, this time frame can give you a forecast into the next couple of days. Each candle represents 4 hours, so it's a good little chunk of time. So each of these trade scenarios could be a possible play for this week ahead. Okay, so here was that pullback. This was that original break over here. Nice, strong ascending channel. Daily higher lows, broke the daily higher low right here, blowing through the supporting trend line, out of this channel, through the 200 EMA, and down towards that monthly and weekly break of structure, right? So we got a double bottom, it pulls back, tests the recent daily zone, and then just starts kind of going sideways, a little bit of chop in here, goes to make another touchdown at the bottom, pulls back again. So a lot of chop, lot of chop. So ideally this, well, that orange one could stay, but I'll show you. Ideally, these are the two scenarios that we want to be looking at for conservative entries. I mean, like, I wouldn't even feel comfortable taking a position off this higher low here. Really, I want to. This is just, it's too tight. It's 50 pips here. I want to catch a larger move. I mean, yeah, if you catch an early breakout move, that would be a great higher low to enter on. But the conservative entry would be waiting for a break and confirmation of this daily zone right here. Because if you look to the left, it looked like it was going to make a break. It looked like it made a break here, right? But it didn't have the conviction. So we didn't see a higher low form above these MAs, outside this daily zone. And, it just didn't happen. So that would really give me a lot of confidence in this long position if I saw a higher low form right above this daily. Target higher, no problem. Good trade. All right. And then this is what's going to happen if we're looking for shorts. This is what we need to see happen anyway. This one's a little more straightforward because it does look like we're getting some sort of like, there's just a weakening trend here. All this chop, weak. Lots of wicks, maybe a slow reversal. Could be, maybe something like this, just on a larger scale. Right? Take a look here. So we have like this left peak, mid peak, and then like a right peak that's kind of dying off and overextended, kind of like out there. So that's this first peak here, middle peak, and then this dying of a right shoulder, if you will, even if you were to consider it a head and shoulders. Either way, it's just it's a set of price action that shows a weakening of the trend and a potential reversal. So that could happen here, right? So we just want to see a break of some lower time frame higher lows in here. Then more importantly, a break of this 4 hour zone, some sort of lower high below that, enter and target lower. All right, so this one looks pretty decent. I mean, it's just very dependent on DXY. You got to see what happens. And then we want to be conservative with it. I don't want to get caught in any consolidation. That's not fun for anybody. Usually if you enter a trade and it's going sideways for like 2-3 hours, it's just not the right entry yet. So, I mean, I'm not trying to ride out consolidation. I want to catch the move, the move with conviction, and we'll be ready for it. All right, a little choppy, not the best movement for AU, but yeah, we work with what we got. All right, so let's move on to AJ. It was a little more straightforward in the sense that we got some nice patterns, good ranging going on. So let's go to the daily time frame. All right, much like AU, we were very bearish for a while. Recently broke a weekly lower high. Excuse me. With this rally here, and then gave us a higher low, and then rallied up to this new monthly zone. Okay, so definitely bullish overall, especially with this breakout out of this descending channel here on this higher time frame, I'm saying, and then nice push. So let's drop down to the 4 hour and get a closer look at all of this price action right here. Okay, so this is part of that rally. Price action rallied into this zone, trying to make a break, didn't have the conviction, and instead gave us a higher low right at the daily, then a lower high, and it pushed through the daily higher low, causing a daily break of structure. Price action plummeted down to test that weekly zone again. Double bottom, just like we saw in AU, same thing. Pulls back and actually tests the, forms a mini range and then tests the daily break and monthly zone as well. So rejects from that, shoots to a new low through the 4 hour. a 4 hour through 4 hour structure because it breaks this higher low here. So definitely looking bearish overall. Definitely looking bearish overall. So where do we go from here? Let me get rid of these fibs as they're at 100%. I'm just going to extend a couple things over here so we can clean this up. You guys can get a look at these levels. Oops. Okay, good enough. Almost there. And I'll redraw this for you guys. All these. Is this right? Yep. Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. So overall, we're pretty bearish. I mean, the weekly time frame is bullish, as we can see. Daily is bearish. 4 hours bearish. 1 hour is bullish, if that has any weight. But anyway, we're at a low. We're hanging at the bottom of a pretty large bearish push here. Bearish breakout, retest, push lower. Is it going to continue? That would be breaking this weekly zone here, continue lower, or is it going to pull back a little bit? Is this done, or is this just consolidating, building up steam, getting ready to make a play to the downside? So these are the two scenarios we're looking at. We are definitely bearish first, so let's just take a look here. You could take an entry off of this 1 hour zone if you see a nice lower high. So this would simply be a break and retest with all the supporting confirmations, meaning rejection of the MAs, cross and retest, wicks, bearish setups, all that. Definitely would be a nice entry right here, but this would be part one of a larger move. So I'm saying this is a potential entry here because you could actually get ahead of a really nice trade here and further increase your risk reward if you were, swinging this, if you will. So let's go ahead. This would be part two. Looking for that weekly break and then just a continue of managing the trade. So let's go to the daily, see if that makes sense. How far could this drop if it breaks back below this weekly, right? I would say my first target would be definitely down around 73, which is where we're at right here. That would be my first target, and then reanalyze from there. Excuse me. But if this did break, if price action got lower than 73, there's no reason it couldn't drop all the way back to fill this zone down here, maybe even test this trend line, which was the resisting trend line of that very large bearish channel if we zoom out for a second. So all the way down here. But we'll see. I mean, let's go over the bullish scenario. This is just going to be such a major break if this weekly zone, does finally, if price action finally crosses that weekly zone, it could just be such a powerful move. So definitely worth, maybe catching an early entry on this little 1 hour transition here, playing it into the weekly, if it does continue to drop, obviously. But let's say this is a weakening of the trend, all this consolidation, we get a bit of a reversal. What do we need to see to go long here? The 200 EMA is right there, a little sketchy, but it's okay. We want to see pretty much a push into this upper range again. Whoops, where's this tool doing? A push up into this upper range and some sort of higher low. And then I would personally enter on like a cross of, the MAs or a cross of the 200 even with a nice, bullish setup or some sort of conviction, essentially. Let me go ahead and make this blue. Oh, no, this one's orange. These are blue. I'm sorry. Because we're bearish first. So we're looking at short scenarios to start. Okay, so but also, I mean, we are looking at short scenarios first because the overall trend supports that. It doesn't mean we're, closed-minded to the possible idea of a long setup. We're just, we mark it up, we follow the market, we're seeing what's going to happen. I just give you guys a favorable trade because that's what the overall bias is. Very bearish. So we're looking at shorts first. All right, so that's AJ, guys. Pretty straightforward. Gonna take a little while to play out. As long as it's consolidating, we can't do much. Can't do much, unfortunately. All right, so let's move on to UJ. Oh, freaking UJ. Friggin' UJ. All right, daily time frame, guys. You know the deal. All right, so this one's been steadily bearish on all time frames for quite a minute now. Giant descending triangles, key support at 1045, constant narrowing of price action, squeezing and squeezing and squeezing until you find us where we currently are right now, which is just below this weekly zone. We recently broke it, tested as resistance, and continued with this theme of consolidation all the way back down towards this 1045 handle. So with that, we could drop down to the 4-hour, get a closer look. So guys, we've been anticipating this break for so friggin' long, and it might finally be here. So this move is important because it's a break of this massive support for this triangle. So if I just zoom out, 104 has been acting as key support for quite a while. If we just look back to the left, every time price action came near it, once, twice, 3 times, even 4 times if you count Corona, massive rejection, absolute massive rejection. So a couple things to note: we've had massive wicks every time price action came here, which means there's been tons and tons of buyers waiting at this level. Anytime price action got close, it got sent away at 1,000,000 miles an hour. That's not the case anymore. Now we're consolidating at that level, right? So that means there's either the sellers are absorbing buyers or there's not as many buyers. So either way, this zone is weakening. 1045, it's definitely weak. Could it be the break? Maybe. If it does break, it could definitely be a very powerful move as it's playing into a higher time frame. So just keep in mind, I'm going to show you guys how we're going to swing this, or try to swing it from 1 hour, 4-hour trade into a daily trade. So let's just zoom in here a little more on this 1 hour, 4-hour. Continue going over this. So we had that drop here to 1045, pulls back, hits a fib level, nice advanced head and shoulders, gives us that entry on the right shoulder, nice lower high, blows through 4-hour support, which was structure. So we're now bearish in the 4-hour as well. So everything here is hinting at shorts, right? Everything is hinting at shorts. So a nice little break there. Let's drop down actually to the 1 hour because I had this trade marked up on the 1 hour. I want to show you guys what we were looking at. All right, so here's that right shoulder, that head and shoulders. We're going to pick from the high to the low. There it is. Pulls back, hits the 50%, forms a nice little flag, and then pops out right here. So look at this. We got 50% fib level. Nice evening star pattern, basically. MA cross, rejection once with an engulfing. I didn't like the volume on that. I thought that it was still part of this kind of indecision in here. I thought it maybe still could have pushed higher. I didn't like that entry. I wanted to wait for a break of the flag. I saw it break out, and I thought, oh man, this thing is going to be perfect. Everything here lines up well. But at this point on this break, it was already, what is this? 10 o'clock at night. It's already 10 o'clock at night. Or what is that? Yeah, pretty much 10. And I didn't want to just enter on a breakout. I really wanted some sort of pullback just to be sure. So then what happens next? I start getting some bullish candles. And this thing ended up executing at pretty much 4 in the morning. So I obviously wasn't awake, but we got this beautiful bearish engulfing. I was hoping to wake up to, maybe a little bit of, consolidation, hoping to get in on some early morning volume. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but that doesn't mean we're out of this trade, guys. That means our first entry, I wanted to catch it early because I wanted to play it into a larger move. That's okay. I was just trying to increase my risk reward. But there is still a trade here, guys. There is still a trade. And that lies within a break of this area. So any sort of, where'd it go? So this is the next pretty much like hot area, if you will, area of sensitivity, I've heard some people say. So we really want to see price action move through this because this is going to act as support, right? We have the 1 hour here, a lot of potential for reversal, 1045, anything close to that potential for reversal. So really just want to see a break of these two zones. Any sort of lower high with nice bearish conviction pushing through this zone, we're looking to enter on and target lower, targeting towards negative 27 first. And then, we can start choosing some daily targets if we really do see this moving. Moving a lot, that is anyway. So this is the next range, guys. Down towards this monthly zone. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Either way, guys, UJ is going to be a monster if this thing breaks. All right, and then let me just give you guys the bullish scenario, just because. What needs to happen for us to look for buys? Pretty simple, and this one's pretty straightforward. Excuse me, break of this 4-hour zone, higher low, targeting higher. Boom. But even then, it's still pretty much bearish because like this trend has been so bearish for so long. But anyway, this would be the first step in looking for long opportunities, some sort of major break of resistance, confirmed higher low with conviction. All right. Oop, here we go. Perfect. All right, so it's UJ. Damn, that shit really annoyed me. Perfect entry. Beautiful engulfing. All right, let's move on to EJ, and then I'll wrap it up with gold, and then pass it off to Angelo. You got some good ones. Some good pairs for you guys. All right, daily time frame on EJ. Here we are. Bearish over here on the left, descending channel, very, very strong. Got a break here, break at these lower highs, weekly lower highs. Here's that rally straight through, pulls back, gives us a higher low, changes the trend on the weekly from bearish to bullish, just like that. Super easy. Break, retest, continuation. Best way to confirm it. A change of trend anyway, okay? So after this higher low, surge into our monthly zone, gave us a nice slow reversal. We got 3 peaks, lower high, tons of entry opportunities on a lower time frame. So this was pretty much just a pullback, right? So it's overextended, pulls back to the 61.8, perfect, tons of indecision, lots of rejection, pushes back up, and then actually rejects off our broken daily zone. So these are daily higher lows here. So once that broke, it changed the trend on the daily. Looking at bearish opportunities, right? So anyway, so it pulls back to 61.8, tests the daily structure, and then rejects it twice. So could this be a confirmed lower high? Could this just be consolidation? Getting ready for its next push to the upside. We don't know. We got to see. So we got to analyze it. We're going to drop down time frames. Let's go to the 4-hour. Get a closer look at what's going on. So it's definitely ranging. Definitely ranging right here. We got 2 lows, 2 highs. We have some higher lows here. So maybe within this little range, it's favoring the bulls, favoring more, bullish price action. Could be. But either way, I wouldn't feel comfortable taking a trade between these 2 zones, this daily and this 4-hour. So I'm going to recommend waiting for a break of either to find kind of where it's going. This thing needs to gain some footing. It needs to gain some traction. It's got to choose a direction and figure out where the hell it's going, because this thing has been ranging since the September 20th. So we got to make up our minds here, EJ. Either break to the upside, looking for an entry on a higher low above this daily zone only, and then we'll target into the monthly, reanalyze, and choose our targets accordingly. However, for a short opportunity, looking for a break of this 4-hour, you may, depending on how price action forms, you may get an early opportunity for some sort of lower high within this. But even then, you would, hold on. But even then, you're still looking for a retest. You're looking for a lower high, and then your entry would be right over here, basically on some really strong conviction, right? It's all about the confirmations. If the confirmations aren't there, we're not just taking trades blindly. Like, there's no way that's going to happen. Like, this would be a decent entry within this little range here. As long as the confirmation's there, I would have a lot of confidence in this. And the reason for this is to just get a little slightly better risk reward. Just a little more of an edge going into this trade. So this could be something pretty big. All right, and as we know, EJ moves a shitload. So let's get a quick measurement. 210 pips from the 4-hour to the weekly alone. And yeah, so that's EJ. Let's go to the daily time frame, check our targets, see what's up. Right, if it pulls back, 88.6 weekly zone, definitely likely. Looks pretty good to me. Breaks to the upside, reaching this monthly again is very likely as well. Very, very likely. All right, so that's EJ, guys. I'm going to wrap it up with gold. And this thing has just been holding steady. Okay, so EJ and gold are actually pretty damn similar. Guys, let's just take a look. This is EJ on the daily. This is gold on the daily. So pretty close. Let's do one more. EJ on the daily. Gold on the daily. Pretty remarkably close. All right, so daily time frame to start on gold, very, very bullish overall. We had a break of 1800, quick rally up to 2070. That's what happened on gold. And then, it pulled back. It started forming this giant triangle, descending triangle, tons of lower highs, key support at 1930. We were kind of waiting for this zone to make up its mind, see where we're going to go from here. We were kind of waiting this out. We saw a break of this zone. So these are daily higher lows, daily zone, broke it, changed the trend on the daily from bullish to bearish, just like that. Pulls back to the 1618, rejects, pushes up to test the daily again, just like we saw on EJ, gives a double top, and then starts going sideways. So again, we find ourselves stuck between the daily and 4 hour, kind of just waiting for a break between a decently large range. Like, this is not a shallow range here. We're going from 1875 to 1930. This is pretty wide. I mean, I know I said this the other day that you guys could technically trade the range if you want. I don't recommend it. That's more of a scalper's cup of tea. I'm not really for that at all. I like waiting for price action to start trending, and I like entering on the beginning of a trend. So in this scenario, if it's going to continue higher, enter on a higher low on a break of this daily above 1930. That would be ideal for me. Definitely looking for that bullish continuation. But if we see that this zone holds, this daily zone holds, we have positive rejection from there. Look for a push lower below this 4 hour. Any sort of lower high bearish conviction below 1875, you're safe to enter on. Target lower, back towards our 1800 handle. So quite a ways away. I mean, absolutely nuts. 700 pips, 750 pips on gold. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll friggin' see. All right. But yeah, gold's always a crazy one. But yeah, I mean, it's moving sideways. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We gotta wait for a break. Quick recap, guys. I covered DXY, bearish, AU, looking a little bullish. AJ, I don't even know. Looks a little bearish. Gotta wait for a break. UJ, bearish as hell. EJ, undecided. Gold, undecided. Just gotta show us something. That's all we could do right now is gotta wait on it. Price action's gotta make a move. So yeah, that's all I prepared for you guys. I'm gonna pass off to Angelo. Thank you guys.
All right, cool. Yeah, UJ is looking nice.
Yeah, it is. It's actually forming really nice. Got tons and tons of support for a short opportunity. Let me check comments here.
All right, cool. All right, so we're going to get into all the major pairs now, guys. Again, if you have any questions, just post in the chat during the session. I know we just went over a lot. We're also going to do the giveaway. We'll announce the winner at the end of the week. If you guys want to get in on that, just post in the chat your Discord name. So whatever your name is in the Discord chat, just post your name in the chat. We'll get you guys entered in on the giveaway. So let's pretty much get right into it. Going along with the theme that DXY is pretty bearish right now. I'm just going to take a look one more time at DXY. So yesterday, we had some bullish price action. We had the moving averages crossed, and we did start to anticipate that we could head higher here. We started to push up to a new high. And then this close, large wick, following candle continued to be bearish. If we just look at structure, overall, we are still very bearish. We are below the moving averages on the daily. And down to the 4 hour, we are bearish. We're below the 38.2. We're below this daily level of support. Let's go back up to the daily and look at it. It's just this random line that I drew from the daily. This is definitely a level of support that we're retesting as resistance. So this thing is bearish, overall on the daily, the 4 hour. Now, as we come down to the 30-minute, right now, it just formed a lower high. We need to break this level. We got the 200-day moving average. This would really show or really push us a lot further down. So this is the level now that we're testing. This is a significant support level. If we start to get a break below this level, that's going to show us that we really are bearish on this pair on every single time frame. So DXY, with it in mind that this pair is pretty bearish, let's start to take a look at some other pairs. So let's start off with GU. So all the way up to the weekly time frame on GU. Weekly, we've been hitting these highs over and over again. Right now, we're currently just in this area. We have this inverted hammer candle And this just shows that there are a lot of buyers in the market. It's kind of like a stop. So right here we had this bearish candle. We stopped on a dime. No more sellers. Buyers stepped in. So this is kind of a reversal candle showing us that we could continue higher on this. We just need to break this down to a time frame we could actually see structure a little bit more clearly. So down to the daily time frame. Daily time frame overall, guys, has been very bullish. We've just been looking for bullish setups on this. There have been opportunities to the upside, just being a buyer throughout this entire trend all the way back to April. So with that in mind, if we were to fib on this time frame, we would go from this previous higher low to this new higher high right here. We hit that 61.8. Now we're coming up. We're hitting that 38.2. So as we know, this thing's not going to just go from 618 to our targets. So this thing is fairly bullish. Down to the 4-hour time frame. Again, 4-hour trend, very bullish. We're in this channel right now, and we hit these highs. We pulled back. We could potentially find some support here as we fib this like this. And again, if we were looking for buy opportunities all within these areas, there definitely were buy opportunities. There's also at these highs right here opportunities to sell off. So we're playing both sides of this channel right now. We're approaching the lower half of it. So we will be looking for buy opportunities. Pretty much what we need to see as previously is we need to see some bullish price action, some sort of bullish engulfing, breaks of structure in the lower time frame. Ultimately, we need to see a break of the moving averages, crossing the moving averages. So if you see right here, we were sort of bearish on this, and then we're below the moving averages right now. So until we start to break above these moving averages, which if we go down to the lower time frame, would just be breaking above structure right here. As soon as we start to break above that, that's when we'll look to enter, and we'll wait, be very patient on this and wait for a higher low. So we can see here structure has been very bearish, forming lows, lower high, low, lower high, low, lower high, low, retested this lower high. And then we just started bouncing here. We started to form higher lows. Now we're starting to shift upward. This is the level that we need to break. And that correlates very well with the 4-hour. So if the 4-hour, we break that level, we'll get the cross, and then that's when we'll start to buy. So GU, we're looking to go bullish on this, but the confirmations, they have to show themselves. On the flip side, on the 30-minute, if this thing respects this level, starts to shoot down, we'll just wait because we do know that we have this trend line right here. We haven't broken out of this area, in quite some time. So we'll just continue to wait. But this thing is looking pretty bullish or potentially bullish. The setup is there. So we just got to stick on this 4-hour, stick to structure right there. So let's go to UCAD, bump up to the weekly time frame. So overall in the weekly with UCAD, just looking at the moving averages here, this thing has been extremely bearish. We're starting to consolidate within this area right here, but we're starting to move below the 200-day. So targets on this, we could get back to this bottom here. Looks like we might have enough sellers to push us there. Down to the daily time frame, this time frame has obviously been extremely bearish, for the most part, all the way back since March. This thing's been in a downtrend all the way since then. We're still in that downtrend. If we were to break this down a little further to the 4-hour, we can see the 4-hour is very bearish, forming low, lower high, low, lower high here. So we're within this fib right now. We're within this fib. We've got it measured. We've got our highs. We've got our lows. We hit back to around 61.8% right there, and we came down to 0%. Now we're coming back up to around 50% level. As we can see, price is starting to move lower. We got testing the moving averages. This is when we're going to look for sells. This is when we're going to look for potential entries, similar to this area. When we started to cross, we had a little bit of a pullback there. We're going to look for something similar. We've got some higher time frame confirmation, double top here. We're below the 200-day. And this is all the way on the 4-hour. So this is the 4-hour trend. As we come down to the 30-minute, we can see the 30-minute is already starting to transition. So 30-minute this is that 4-hour push from this high. 30-minute had this level of support broken, came up, retested, formed a lower high. So pretty much we're just waiting to see this 30-minute trend respect itself again. And whenever it forms the next lower high is when we're going to enter on this. So UCAD's looking for a sell opportunity, looking to continue with these lower lows and lower highs that are forming. And it's looking pretty clean here. It'd be nice to get through the 200-day right here. That's kind of a minimum requirement to try to get in on this, get through the 200-day. So as this thing continues to move and consolidate here, we'll see how it reacts to this 200-day level. But definitely looking solid for UCAD, lines up with DXY as well. Let's bump over to EU. Let's bump up to the weekly time frame. So weekly time frame on EU, it's been a tricky one. This thing is overall still very bullish on this. Last couple of weeks, you know, bullish variations popping up. So a lot of bullish pressure here through the moving averages. We just need to break this down though further. You know, we are at a high. We're in kind of no man's land right now. But price action just continues to tell us that it's bullish in this area. As we come down to the daily, we can see we had this huge push to the upside. Then we consolidated for a minute here. Then we found support at this level. And if we were to fib this from this low to this high, we could see that this was all just minor retracements until we hit 38.2. So daily structure is certainly bullish in this area. And then as we can see now, the moving averages have crossed here. So we're really starting to find a little bit of a trend here on the lower time frame down to the 4-hour time frame. Very choppy, but at the moment, we did break above this level to this high. We pulled back. I started to see this lower high form, so I thought maybe we could catch this swing into these lower levels as this thing looked like it was going to retrace lower and lower, but now we're finding support at this level, so we're pretty much double bottoming here. We have a bullish engulfing candle coming in, closing in 20 minutes, and this is 38.2 and a weekly level. So a ton of confirmation here, guys. To get in on this, what I would really need to see is a break above this level. So if we shoot above this 200-day here, we're still respecting that fairly well at the moment. If we shoot above the 200-day here, we'll break this previous high as well, and we're going to look for a setup just on the first retest. So that's EU. On the flip side, if we start to reject the shit out of this level, we start to move below these moving averages a little bit more. I'll be rather cautious on that because we are still at this support level. So it will invalidate that trade though. So right now the trade is if we do break above now and we get that retest, then we'll look to long on EU. Let's go over to NU. So NU we were looking at yesterday for potential shorts, and it's just another example. If the trade does not present itself, then it becomes invalidated. So yesterday we were looking pretty much, we were like right around this area right here. As we break this down on the 4-hour time frame, so we're in this flag pattern and we're at this high point right now. So we're at this high point on the 4-hour time frame. We are in this flag pattern. As we bump up to the daily, we can see the daily time frame has been pretty bullish over and over and over again. Moving averages are across to be bullish, so this thing is pretty bullish right now. Weekly time frame, we're just at these highs. I am anticipating some sort of resistance because we are below this 200-day. We're below resistance on this level, but we got to just wait for the actual break. So all the way down to the 4-hour, this thing is still bullish. What we would have needed to see would be some sort of like bearish conviction candle. As we can see, even on the 30-minute, we're forming highs, higher low, high, higher low, high, retest of this higher low, and then now we're just consolidating. We're stuck in this area. Let's bring this forward. Ultimately, what we would need for this idea, for this trend line to be respected, is we would have needed a break all the way below this support level to head lower. But as we can see right now, this thing's actually shooting up. So I'm just going to remove this trend line. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to bump back up to the 4-hour time frame. And I'm just going to, pause and take a look. Where could I potentially enter on this? Is it wise to enter on this right now? And personally, I just don't see any opportunities on NU, even to the upside. We're still below this resistance, this weekly resistance. we're still within this trend line. You know, I would love to see a lot more price action form, a lot more bullish sentiment before actually getting in on that idea. You know, for now, I'm just going to leave this as I have it. We'll see if this trend line respects. You know, these other pairs that we have, EU, UCAD, GU, we're looking for GU to go long, UCAD to go short, EU to go long. It's okay to have NU with a different bias. You know, they don't all correlate like that closely. So if NU, you know, we're looking for sells, that just means that if these trades become invalidated, we'll get an opportunity with NU. So this is NU. I have this low on my list right now. I'm just going to keep that there. Let's go over now to USEF. Let's start off on the weekly time frame. So a weekly time frame with USEF, guys, is very bearish. So we've been bearish on this for a minute. You know, we've been bearish since 2019. We've been bearish this whole year on this weekly time frame. As we bump down to the daily, starts to get a tad bit choppy on this time frame, but we got to just keep in mind how do we denote structure here from this previous high all the way to this low right here. We had a pullback to 38.2. This is all just noise right here. We had this pullback to 38.2. That is our structure level. So below this level on the daily, structure is bearish. Now to the 4-hour time frame, we see we started to trend bearish on this time frame, forming lows, lower high, low, lower high. Now we're forming another low down here. And as we can see previously, you know, what has happened is we formed this wall of resistance. You know, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Here we're doing that same thing. We're on the second touch here. We're forming resistance at this level, at this 38.2 level. So this is certainly structure right here. I know earlier in the week we had a bullish USD or DXY bias, so I was drawing this out on the 4-hour saying 4-hour needed to break ultimately all the way above this level and retest to go long. As we can see here, this 4 hour is about to close, large wick respecting this level. So some short opportunities could be shaping up. When would I get in on a short opportunity on this? We need to see some more conviction, some more to the downside. Obviously, we had this pull up, large wick, you know, this thing pulled back. But ultimately, guys, we need to see some sorts of levels of structure break. Right now, this is really the most significant level. I'm going to just take this off. This is the most significant level. We've got the 200-day here. We've got support here. We've got this trend line. If this thing continues to fall, we'll see some sort of retest in this area. And I'll draw this out. We'll see some sort of retest in this area, and that's when we'll look to short on this. So again, USEF a little bit more down my list right now, but the 4-hour does look really clean. It is respecting this resistance level. So we just need to move below these moving averages. We need a little bit more price action and move below here. So let's go over now to GJ, which is going to be the last pair of the day. Let's bump up to the weekly. So a weekly time frame on GJ overall still very bearish, guys. As we look at price action currently, right now we had this inverted hammer candle, which is again a reversal candle. After this selling candle, this showed no sellers stepped in, all buyers. Then we had some resistance at the top here. So let's just break this entire region down to the daily and see, you know, daily time frame obviously has been very bullish, forming this high, higher low, bullish, high, pulled back. This pullback was pretty deep here. It was a 78.6 pullback. So this is my daily structure. So anything above this level at the moment, guys, is going to be bullish. Anything above this level, we're looking for buys, and that's why I have my daily structure here. And then as we break this push down to the 4-hour, right here, the 4-hour is starting to get extremely choppy. It's starting to turn over a little bit here. We had pretty much this high form here, pulled back, this higher low, this high, and then we had all this chop going on here. So what I want to do is kind of clear this up is I'm just going to draw some levels on here, and we're going to come onto the line chart, and we're going to see how this looks from another perspective. So this thing is looking so choppy right now. So what I want to do is I want to just come down. So we just retraced all this. Just going to clean this up a little bit, and we're just going to do a little bit of a lesson on, when is structure going to break? When should we potentially get in on some other opportunities? So looking at this, we were bullish. We formed this high. We pulled back, formed this higher low. If we were to fib this, this would be 38.2. So we hit 38.2. We pushed up to form a new high there. I'm going to take this fib off. So we pushed up, formed a new high, retraced very deep to the 78.6, pushed up, made a new high at this negative 27. So we're continuing to adjust our fibs here. Boom, new high. And then as we can see right here, guys, we formed this new high, pulled back, hit 100%, came up, hit 38.2, came back, hit 100%, came up, hit right around 0%. And now we're pulling back again. So on this 4-hour time frame, this is our higher low. This is the level that has not broken yet. I know we're forming some lower highs here. I know the daily is starting to cross a bit, but just to be very conservative on this, guys, it would make sense considering the daily trend is bullish overall. It would make sense to wait for this 4-hour time frame to break structure. So let's come back on with all of our candlesticks and our indicators. So as we can see here, let me leave this on. Boom. Oh, put this back on. All right, cool. So right now, all we're looking for, I'm going to drag this across right here. We're coming down to this 200-day level. We're coming back down to H4 structure. We need to find some sort of support here. This is on the 30-minute right now, very bearish trends, forming lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower high. If we want to continue with this, we certainly can. The next entry opportunity would be something similar to right now, would be something similar to now. If we wanted to get in on this and continue this 30-minute downtrend, I personally want to wait until the 4-hour breaks before I get in on any sort of bearish moves. But if we did want to enter on some sort of short opportunity, now would be the time. Something like this. We're respecting this resistance. We're starting to we got this bearish engulfing. Now we're starting to move below the moving averages. You could just put stops there, and then what I would start to target again. This is the support level that we have. So this level ultimately is going to be tested. But what I would start to target would be down here, this weekly level. If this thing does continue to transition, it's going to come down into that weekly level. On the flip side, if we want to be more patient, if we want to wait, 4-hour again is bullish. I'm going to just move this here. 4-hour again is bullish. I'm seeing a lot of confluence here, 200-day H4 support, fibs. So if we do get some sort of bullish variation here, all that will look like on this lower time frame is a break of these levels. So with that in mind, we can sort of trade this thing both ways. Unless this is broken, we take sells. And once this is broken, we take buys. So, just trading two ways of the market because we actually know exactly where we're at, guys. So that's GJ, just kind of a different perspective with that one, and just take advantage, the best way you can. If you're going to take shorts on this, roll stops to break even a lot quicker than normal because you're trading against the trend. And if you're going to go for this 4-hour long here, just wait and wait for some sort of price action. Like, see how we formed some support here, then we had this huge bullish candle with a long ass wick. That doesn't bode well for us for potential buys. So you just got to wait until you get some real bullish price action. Like we had this bullish engulfing here, another bullish engulfing here, another very bullish candle. Obviously, a ton of buyers stepping in. Then the entries would have been in this opportunity here. We would have targeted higher and higher. So that's GJ. Let's go back over to the majors. We had GU, UCAD, EU, NU, and USAF. I'm going to drop some more analysis in our premium analysis section for you guys. If you guys want to get in on this, you can just come over to the start here. It's just $7 one-time fee, and me and Nick just update like during the day when we see setups starting to form on the lower time frames, like the 1 hour and the 30-minute, when we're looking for potential entries. That is where this is where we'll post our analysis from that. So it kind of just builds off these live sessions, and it's only $7 one-time fee. We also have, I don't know if I have the graphic up right now, but I can certainly find it right here. So we also have a little sale going on right now. It's 40% off. There's 4 spots left. There was 5 spots yesterday. Everything included in here is full access to the course. So 50 course videos, signals, one-on-ones, trading plan, private chat, psychology training, fundamentals, weekly webinars, and most importantly, as we say, the positive community. So we have a little sale going on right now. It is 40% off. If you guys want to learn more about that, if you want to see what's actually inside of the course, I know a few of you were messaging me yesterday. We'll go over that for you. We'll share a little video that breaks down everything that's included. And, it really comes down to what are you guys trying to do with this? We have a lot of free stuff, and you can certainly continue to take advantage of the free stuff. But if you want to kind of take it to the next level and get a more structured approach to learning how to trade, then, certainly get involved with the premium channels. So yeah, if you guys want to get in on that, just shoot me a message after this and we'll get to talking. And that's pretty much it for our live session. I see there's a lot of comments in here. I think Nick's muted. We got a lot of comments in here. Let's see.
Yeah, good amount, decent amount of comments. Nothing crazy, but yeah, guys. So next live session is going to be tomorrow, same time. We'll be getting back into it, going over the same pairs we just did. But yeah, guys, check out the community in the meantime. Review this analysis, rewatch the video if you caught the end of this. It'll be posted to YouTube. But yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. We appreciate your guys' support. We'll be back tomorrow. And for you guys inside the group, we'll update any signals we have for today and the premium analysis. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out.
Perfect. Peace, guys.